It begins in silence. No warning, no flashing signs. A teenager somewhere in America opens his laptop. On his screen, a video plays. A man holding a rifle, walking through a mosque, live streaming death as if it were a video game. The comments scroll fast. Cheers, insults, flames of hate. In that moment, another link is forged in a growing chain. A chain of hate that spans continents, feeds on fear, and recruits the disillusioned one click at a time. For years, people thought right-wing extremism was a fringe problem, something isolated, contained, buried in chat rooms and dark alleys. But now, it's everywhere. From New York to New Zealand, Moscow to Munich, Rio to Rome, young men, most of them acting alone yet part of a massive unseen movement, are turning the internet into a battlefield, spreading propaganda, conspiracy theories, and violent inspiration faster than governments can react. This is not a single group or even a single ideology. It is a web, decentralized, global, and terrifyingly effective. It thrives in encrypted chats, anonymous forums, and mainstream platforms alike. Facebook, Twitch, Telegram, all become highways for rage, a pipeline turning loneliness and anger into bullets and blood. The birth of a digital virus. Right-wing extremism didn't evolve like a normal political movement. It mutated like a virus, adapting to every defense society tried to throw at it. Decades ago, far-right hate was spread through pamphlets, rallies, and small gatherings. Now, it spreads with a single share, a live stream, or a meme. Right-wing extremism didn't evolve like a normal political movement. It mutated like a virus, adapting to every defense society tried to throw at it. Decades ago, far-right hate was spread through pamphlets, rallies, and small gatherings. Now, it spreads with a single share, a live stream, or a meme. Each attack fuels the next. Peyton Gendron, the 18-year-old who drove hours to Buffalo, New York, choosing his target because the neighborhood was predominantly black. Brenton Tarrant, the Christchurch shooter, who live-streamed his massacre in New Zealand to inspire copycats. The Munich attacker, who murdered 9 people on the anniversary of Anders Breivik's Norway massacre, to honor another terrorist. These men weren't soldiers in uniforms. They were self-radicalized avatars of hate, connected by message boards and encrypted channels. They called each other saints and warriors, trading manifestos as if they were sacred texts. And the most chilling part? They rarely met in person. The violence feels spontaneous, but it's anything but random. Behind every lone shooter is a global audience of enablers, cheerleaders, and planners who ensure their videos, writings, and martyrdom spread worldwide within hours. A playbook of lies and rage. Scroll through one of their forums and you'll see the same patterns. Conspiracy theories claiming white populations are being replaced by immigrants, the so-called Great Replacement theory. Calls to arms, dressed up as jokes or dark humor, planting seeds for real attacks. Memes that dehumanize minorities, making mass murder seem like a game or a mission. The shooters often justify their crimes with the same script. We are fighting back. White people face extinction. We are soldiers. But these aren't soldiers. They're boys with guns and broadband, convinced by anonymous voices online that the world is at war, a war only they can win. When the internet turns into a battlefield, one of the most alarming aspects of this movement is how quickly online hate turns into real-world violence. In Buffalo, the shooter's live stream on Twitch spread across Facebook and Twitter before moderators could react. Within minutes, thousands of copies appeared. On Telegram, extremist channels turned the footage into propaganda, adding music and captions to make it inspirational. Each new attack is both an act of terror and a recruitment video. For those already inside these networks, it's proof that the movement is alive. For outsiders stumbling into a forum or a video, it can be the spark that begins their radicalization. Global but invisible. This isn't just an American problem. European cities have seen their own lone shooters, knife attackers, and bombers. In Germany, France, and the UK, police have uncovered cells made up of teenagers and ex-military men, plotting assaults on synagogues, mosques, or politicians. In Russia and Ukraine, neo-Nazi fighters train, network, and spread ideology, often switching sides in wars but united by one goal: spreading chaos. In Brazil, militias linked to far-right politicians patrol streets, attack rivals, and grow in political power. On encrypted platforms, they swap tactics with Americans and Europeans. Geography no longer matters. The internet erased borders, creating what experts call a global insurgency without a flag, a problem too fast to catch. Governments and tech companies are scrambling to stop this. Facebook promises better moderation. Twitch adds delays to live streams. Telegram ignores most takedown requests. And for every account banned, 10 more spring up under new names. The truth is, hate has gone viral in ways no one predicted. Extremists don't need massive organizations or funding. They just need Wi-Fi, encryption, and a willing audience. And that audience, scattered, angry, and young, is growing. They don't wear uniforms. They don't march in parades. Most of them will never meet in person, but they're everywhere. In your cities, your feeds, your games, even your schools. This isn't just a movement, it's a contagion. And the question is, can we stop it before it consumes the world? Part 2. The Puppeteers of Hate. Inside the global web of extremism. It's easy to think these attacks are random. A lone teenager with a gun, a live stream from a mosque or a supermarket, a manifesto shared on Telegram. But what if these aren't accidents? What if, behind each lone wolf, there is a silent web, a network so hidden, so global, and so patient, that the next attack is already in motion before the last one fades from the headlines? The hidden architects. While most extremists appear as isolated figures, investigators have uncovered a shadow hierarchy, not a single leader or group, but a loose federation of influencers, propagandists, and recruiters. They don't wear uniforms, they don't sign their names. Many are gamers, vloggers, or failed artists hiding in plain sight. Some live with their parents. Others are former soldiers or police officers, disillusioned with governments they once served. Their goal is not simply to spread ideology, it's to weaponize discontent, to turn lonely young men into martyrs for clicks and chaos. Encrypted chat rooms reveal conversations where mentors encourage recruits. Stream it live, make sure the manifesto goes up first. Don't get caught. If you do, you'll be a legend. Remember, you're part of something bigger. We're building a movement. In some cases, these recruiters never even reveal their voices. They operate through AI-generated avatars and text bots, automating radicalization at a scale no human could match. And this network, unlike past terror movements, is borderless. An 18-year-old in Buffalo can coordinate ideas with a 17-year-old in the UK, who in turn collaborates with a neo-Nazi cell in Ukraine, all without meeting or even knowing each other's names. The training grounds of extremism. Beyond screens, there are physical hubs. Investigators have found paramilitary camps in Eastern Europe, where recruits, many of them Westerners, learn how to shoot, build explosives, and survive in combat conditions. These camps operate under the guise of self-defense or patriot training, but intelligence agencies know what they are: terror academies for the 21st century. In Ukraine and Russia, opposing sides both host foreign volunteers, many of whom are not motivated by politics, but by the thrill of war and the desire to train. In Germany and France, authorities have raided warehouses storing illegal weapons, Nazi flags, and hit lists of local politicians and journalists. In Brazil, armed militias connected to far-right politicians patrol neighborhoods, often wearing police or military gear, blurring the line between state and extremist power. These training sites produce fighters, not leaders. The leaders remain online in the shadows, amplifying every act of violence as proof that the resistance is growing. A new kind of propaganda machine. What makes this movement so hard to stop is not just the violence, it's the narrative engine behind it. In the past, extremist propaganda was slow and clumsy. Flyers, tapes, underground newspapers. Now the internet has made hate cinematic. High-quality videos glorify shooters as saints. Music is added to live-streamed massacres to make them feel like epic, heroic battles. Memes make mass murder look like a joke, something to troll the libs or make history. The most dangerous part? It works. Each new attack triggers a spike in recruitment, as disaffected young men see the attackers as heroes rather than villains.
One investigator put it simply, "We used to chase bomb makers. Now we're chasing influencers."
The role of big tech. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch all claim they're fighting this problem, but their platforms remain critical battlegrounds. Not because the companies support the content, but because their algorithms reward it. Engagement equals profit. The more shocking the content, the further it spreads, even when it's taken down later. Extremist groups exploit this. They upload content just long enough for it to be mirrored and saved thousands of times, then vanish, leaving their message embedded across the digital landscape. Attempts at regulation have struggled because 1. The networks are decentralized. 2. They move faster than governments can legislate. 3. And sometimes the very people tasked with stopping them are infiltrated or sympathetic. The soldiers of chaos. So who are the recruits? The answer isn't simple, but the pattern is hauntingly familiar. Most are young men, often between 15 and 25. Many feel isolated, angry, or betrayed by governments, by families, by women, by a world they believe has no place for them. Some are ex-military or from police families, where access to weapons and training is easy. Others are dropouts, unemployed, or simply searching for belonging. Extremist recruiters know how to spot them. They listen when no one else will. They offer a story. You're not a failure, you're a warrior. The world is against you, but we can make you a hero. Once hooked, recruits are pushed deeper, from memes to chats to encrypted instructions and sometimes to physical violence. A threat that doesn't sleep. This isn't a movement waiting for a leader. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem. Every shooter becomes content. Every takedown becomes a rallying cry. Every platform ban becomes proof of a conspiracy. Experts warn that without aggressive, coordinated action, the attacks will escalate, not just in number but in scale. Small shootings could turn into coordinated assaults. Lone wolves could evolve into digitally connected packs, striking in multiple countries at once. We're no longer asking if there will be another attack. The real question is, how big will it be, and who's already planning it right now in the shadows, while the rest of us scroll through our feeds. Part 3. Breaking the Cycle, Hope Amid the Darkness. After everything, the violence, the propaganda, the growing web of hate, one question remains: can this cycle be broken? Can the same tools used to radicalize, divide, and destroy be turned into tools for healing, prevention, and hope? The turning point. Despite the chaos, change is possible. Around the world, survivors, ex-extremists, and activists are proving that intervention can save lives, not just of potential victims, but of those caught in the spiral of radicalization. Take Chris Buckley, a former U.S. soldier who once marched with the Ku Klux Klan. Scarred by combat trauma and addicted to opioids, Chris was pulled deep into extremism. But through counseling, mentorship, and relentless work, he broke free. And now, he spends his life helping other veterans escape hate movements. Or Pardeep Kaleka, who lost his father in a mass shooting at a Sikh temple in Wisconsin. Instead of succumbing to rage, Pardeep teamed up with Arno Michaelis, a former neo-Nazi, to speak in schools, prisons, and community centers. Their mission: to teach that hate is born from fear, and fear can be unlearned. These stories show something vital. Change is contagious too. If radicalization can spread through the internet, so can recovery, understanding, and human connection. How to stop the next wave. Experts agree, stopping this threat isn't just about arrests and bans. It's about addressing the roots. Loneliness and isolation in young men, unchecked online echo chambers where hate thrives, mental health support for veterans and trauma survivors, education and digital literacy, so people recognize manipulation before it's too late. New programs are emerging. Former extremists now work with law enforcement as mediators, helping identify and deprogram recruits. AI detection systems flag violent propaganda faster, stopping it before it spreads. Community-driven hotlines and support groups offer safe spaces for those questioning their beliefs. And globally, governments are finally coordinating, sharing intelligence across borders, targeting not just attackers, but the architects who profit from spreading fear. The result so far: it's not a total victory. The networks still exist, attacks still happen. But because of these efforts, dozens of planned attacks have been stopped in the US and Europe. Hundreds of young recruits have left extremist groups after receiving mentorship and counseling. Online radicalization hubs are shrinking as platforms are pressured to act faster. And perhaps most importantly, communities once torn apart by violence are finding new strength and solidarity. Survivors are not just victims. They are becoming leaders, shaping a future where hate loses its grip. The web of extremism is still out there, but so are the people fighting it: teachers, parents, ex-extremists, survivors, and even technology itself. The fight isn't over. But with every story of redemption and every life saved, one thing becomes clear. The cycle can be broken. The future doesn't have to belong to hate. It can belong to us.